The night was supposed to be filled with laughter, celebration, and joy. Balloons floated gently across the ceiling of the rented banquet hall in Chicago, where the warmth of glowing lights and the scent of freshly cooked food filled the air. It was Ethan's birthday, and friends, colleagues, and family had all gathered to honor the man who had spent much of his life quietly helping others. Claire, his wife, had helped arrange the decorations. She was known for her lively sense of humor, though not everyone appreciated her sharp tongue. People often described her as witty, sometimes brutally so. But Claire believed jokes were harmless, that they made her stand out in a world where everyone tried to be too polite. As the evening unfolded, Ethan stood at the center of the room surrounded by clapping hands and warm smiles. He had never been one for extravagant parties, but he appreciated the effort. He thanked everyone sincerely before Claire, with a mischievous grin, took the microphone. "Let's give a big round of applause for my husband," she began, her voice echoing through the speakers. "Ethan, the man who thinks patience is his superpower, though he really needed it when I was pregnant with our daughter." The crowd chuckled lightly. But then Claire, carried away by the attention, blurted out something that turned the cheerful room into silence. "You're lucky I didn't abort our kid, Ethan," she laughed, expecting others to join in. The words hung in the air like shattered glass. The laughter she anticipated never came. Guests exchanged uneasy glances, and some even shook their heads. Ethan's face turned pale, the warmth of celebration gone in an instant. His eyes, usually soft and kind, carried a depth of hurt no one in the room could miss. Claire froze, realizing too late that she had crossed a line. She forced a nervous laugh, trying to brush it off as a joke, but the damage was already done. The aftermath. The party ended quickly. People made excuses to leave earlier than expected. Ethan barely spoke a word to Claire as he helped the staff clean up. On the way home, the silence in the car was heavier than anything Claire had ever experienced. "Ethan, you know I was joking," she whispered. He kept his eyes on the road. "Do you realize what you just said? At my birthday. In front of everyone." Claire tried to defend herself. "I didn't mean it literally, it was just what? A joke." His voice cracked. "That's our daughter you're talking about. Do you have any idea how painful those words are? How disrespectful. Not just to me, but to her." Her throat tightened. For the first time, Claire felt the weight of her words pressing down on her. But pride made her stay silent. Weeks of silence. In the days that followed, Ethan grew distant. He still cared for his daughter, little Sophie, with the same warmth and devotion. But his interactions with Claire were cold, measured, and detached. Claire began noticing subtle changes. He no longer kissed her goodbye before leaving for work. He stopped sharing his daily experiences with her. At dinner, he spoke only to Sophie, leaving Claire to stew in silence. At first, she convinced herself he was overreacting. "It was just one bad joke," she muttered repeatedly. But as time passed, she realized the rift was deepening. The breaking point. One evening, Claire walked into the living room to find Ethan packing a small suitcase. Panic rushed through her veins. "Ethan, what are you doing?" He paused. His shoulders slumped as if the weight of the world rested on them. "I can't keep living like this, Claire. That night, you humiliated me, but more than that, you revealed how little respect you have for me, for our family." Tears welled in her eyes. "Please don't do this. I didn't mean it. I'll never say something like that again." Ethan looked at her, his expression sorrowful yet resolute. "It's not just about the words, Claire. It's about the thought behind them. I've been patient with your sharp remarks for years, but this was different. This cut too deep." He zipped his suitcase shut. "I love Sophie and I'll always be here for her. But you and I can't keep pretending." Claire's knees buckled as he walked out the door. The sound of it closing echoed through the empty house like a final verdict. Reflection. Days turned into weeks, and Ethan didn't return. He stayed with a close friend in another part of the city. He came back only to spend time with Sophie, taking her to the park or picking her up for school. With him, he was the same loving father, but with Claire, there was nothing but silence. Claire sat alone in the house, staring at photos of their happier times. She remembered the nights they had stayed up dreaming of their future, the mornings when they laughed over burnt pancakes, and the way Ethan held her hand through every challenge. She realized now that she had taken his kindness for granted. Her need to be witty, to have the last laugh, had cost her the one person who valued her most. Oh, a lesson learned. One evening, Claire sat with Sophie, who asked innocently, "Mommy, why doesn't Daddy stay here anymore?" Claire's heart shattered. Hugging her daughter tightly, she whispered, "Because Mommy made a big mistake." That night, Claire wrote Ethan a long letter, not to beg for him to return, but to apologize sincerely. She admitted her pride, her careless words, and the pain she had caused. Whether he forgave her or not, she knew she had to own the consequences of her actions. Epilogue. Months later, Ethan filed for divorce. The pain was undeniable, but he remained respectful, especially for Sophie's sake. He moved into a small apartment nearby and continued to be a devoted father. Claire, left alone in the house that once echoed with laughter, finally understood the value of respect and kindness. Words were powerful, she realized. They could build or they could destroy. And in her case, one cruel sentence spoken in the heat of attention had destroyed the life she once cherished.